Let's talk about the reality of online arbitrage in 2023 and 2024. If you don't know who I am, my name's Hayden. I've sold over 1.2 million on Amazon now. I've been selling coming up to 4 years. Last month, we did over 80,000 in sales. This month, hoping for a lot more. Anyway, enough about me. Online arbitrage. So we still do online arbitrage. We still sell a fair amount on online arbitrage, actually, an amount that we're quite happy with. We do online arbitrage in the USA. But let's look at online arbitrage as a whole and do a review in this video of online arbitrage. Look, is it something that I would recommend? Is it something that's even worth pursuing? Is it something that I think you should immediately get out of if you're doing it? And is there better options for you to pursue? That's the kind of thing that we're going to talk about in this video today. So I first started actually with online arbitrage. The first introduction I had into Amazon was by doing online arbitrage in the UK. Now the climate has changed somewhat since when I started doing online arbitrage. However, there is still many people. Don't be fooled by what a lot of people say online. There's still many people making really good money in the UK doing online arbitrage. However, it's no lie that price tanking does occur, and you can get yourself into a lot of circumstances where you buy a deal from some of the well-known deal sheets, okay? You buy the deal, send it in, and by the time you've sent it in, there could be 30 or 40 sellers on that listing and the price has tanked. So for the UK market, I think it's important to be aware that you're not going to need to expect big margins and big profit. But it is possible to run the business in the UK doing a low margin, low profit game and then doing volume. But that would mean that you need investment of some sort. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of businesses, very successful businesses such as Tesco and Sainsbury's that run on very small margins. But the thing is, you've got to have the economy of scale because trust me, from experience, which I've done in the past, I don't anymore, but from the past, when I've ran low margin, low profit, high volume sort of businesses, they come with the headaches of their own. Every business has a headache. Every business has their own fair share of headaches. But the main issue you're going to run into when you run a low profit, low margin game is generally never really seeing the profit in the business. It's always going to be reinvested into stock. So if you sell 10,000 at a 10% margin after all costs net, let's say you net 1,000, you might think, oh, that's not too bad. The problem with that is that you're going to be reinvesting most of that profit, most of that money. It's going to be very hard for you until you get to a bigger scale to actually start seeing profit. And actually, as you grow a low margin, low profit business, that problem can actually escalate. Okay, unless you've got details and got it down, drilled down to a T, your accounting, your bookkeeping, your stock takes, and exactly how much your business is worth, how much is in stock, so that you can pay yourself accordingly without getting into cash flow issues. But that's just in the UK. So I would say the UK is right for that sort of person if you want to do online arbitrage there. If you're doing some sort of high volume, low profit, low margin game, it's okay if that's the sort of model that your personality can take. And a lot of people aren't a fan of that, but it definitely can work. Now let's look at online arbitrage elsewhere. Let's look at online arbitrage in different marketplaces. Now different marketplaces, it's a completely different story, okay? A lot of people that do online arbitrage in the USA, which is the biggest marketplace, a lot of people that do online arbitrage in Germany, which is the second biggest marketplace, tend to not have the same issues that you have in the UK on such a scale. Now, obviously, there's particular products, particular brands that get saturated, but because the marketplaces are so much bigger, generally the stock sells faster. And even if you have, I've got listings I've been on in the USA that have got 70, 80, 90 sellers on them, generally, it tends to sell faster. The volume's there. It's more stable because there's more sellers there churning through that stock. In summary, in terms of online arbitrage, what I would personally say, someone that's done it for many years now, dipped in of it and dipped out of it, done it in multiple marketplaces, the key takeaway that I would take here is either you've got to if you're going to go for a marketplace that's fairly small, that's fairly saturated with online arbitrage, then you've got to expect them small margins and then small profits. And rather getting annoyed by it, you've got to work around it. You've got to think about ways that you can deploy either patience to wait for prices to recover, as long as they're the right deals, because not every deal will recover in the best way, or you've got to actually go into it knowing that you're making small margins and profit. But if you've got the cash reserves to do that, if you've got the systems and the overview and the processes to manage that, then you can actually have one up on the competition, because a lot of people don't have the cash, a lot of people don't have the systems, a lot of people don't have the processes. But on the other side, if you want to get higher profit and higher margin, if you're not going to go down the bundle route, if you're not going to go down the private label route or the brand exclusivity route, and you're determined to do online arbitrage, but you want to make more profit, I would say you need to look at bigger marketplaces that can give you that better profit and that better stability. And I'm not saying that every deal is going to be more stable, every deal is going to not get price tanked, because they certainly do. In any market you do online arbitrage, you're going to get price tanking that occurs. But it tends to be more stable, and the price tanking tends to recover much quicker and less of it when it's a bigger marketplace, simply because there's more listings, there's more customers buying it, there's more flow to that marketplace. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Make sure you like the video. I'll see you in the next one.